So this is a follow-up to an earlier video I already did. There was a white supremacist group that was attempting to attack or attempting to intimidate a gathering, a gay pride rally, I think, in Idaho. Someone saw it. Someone saw them loading up into U-Hauls, and they called law enforcement. Law enforcement was able to effect a stop on the U-Hauls or the persons in question, and those people were arrested. It has come to my attention that police department is receiving death threats at this time, and that they have chosen to make the 911 caller. They've chosen to retain that person's name at this time to keep that information confidential. I think that it's another sign of the times, and I could really never be into public safety at this point. I could never be in that because in a reasonable society, that was heroic. Like there was a case a month ago where there was California state policeman, trooper, whatever they call it out there, traffic policeman, and patrolman, and he was shot. And people came up there and they put a knife on the guy. They held him down. They effected medical assistance to the trooper. I think they created a tourniquet. There's a nurse there. The guy was able to help him. And they got awarded. They were all brought for an award ceremony. That was congratulations to those people and to that trooper. But in a reasonable society, people who do things like this will be recognized as criminals. People say terrorism is, in the eye of the beholder, that bin Laden's not a terrorist to certain people in other countries. I understand that. But when I look at stuff like this, where where you have someone that commits a willful crime like this, and it is so heinous, society should recognize it as such. It's just like when Fauci getting death threats. That shocked me. It shocks me to this day that a person that has entrusted his entire life, public health, public science, protecting us from the next pandemic, the next major disaster, they have to worry about bringing a disease home to their families. He was hit by powder. I think he wasn't political. He started to be political during the beginning of the pandemic, and he opened a package of white powder. And he was thinking about, was it sarin, was it rice, and was it, had to hose off in the pool and all that. And that's when he realized how serious it was. That this was a war that Trump was conducting against reality. It was a war against truth. And it was a war in favor of anti-intellectualism, and his life was in danger. Even with gangs, there are certain things gang members do. If it's not sanctioned, the gang ain't gonna back you up. I remember hearing a case a while back, New York City police officer that wasn't paying his car note or what it was, and someone came to tow it, and he ended up, they arrested the guy, filed false charges, and all. Like those people, that didn't go anywhere. Even if you're a white supremacist, even if you hate gay people, you should recognize, and this is what there are reasons what they would realize. White folks, racists would say, look, we don't like gay people. I don't like gay people. In fact, I hate them. But this is their month, and they over there doing their thing. Leave them alone. They're not bothering you. You want to talk about the drag queen story hour? We can talk about that. But going to a rally of gay people out there doing what they do for their couple hours, how does that benefit white supremacy? You attacking them. Also, this is what I think. Some of them guys were armed. What happens when they go out there roughing up a bunch of gay dudes and they run into a gay dude that's an MMA fighter? Or they run into some gay dude that's actually a off-duty policeman, and they have to pull their gun. And they niggas start knocking people out. And one of them dudes pull a gun out and starts blasting. It happened in January. It happened in Charlottesville. People fired at the ground, and that happens. When these cowards get punked, they pull their guns. So when they start shooting, and a bullet ricochets hits a kid, yeah, it's a pride rally, but people are still out there. I went and got a haircut one time uptown when I was driving trucks for Southern, and I didn't realize they were having a pride event. I was uptown doing something else. So, it is possible. You start shooting at an civilian. What happens then? Come on, man. What they were doing was reckless, and it was dangerous, and it was invented an evil intent. It was terrorism, no doubt. But even if you don't like gay people, you should recognize these kind of people should do some time. These kind of people should be on a watch list. These aren't people who just disagree with society's acceptance of homosexuality. These are terrorists. And you can't legitimize terrorism. Period. Thanks for listening.